Hello, great people. Despite his abysmal performance, it's been a political harvest season of some sort for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as political bigwigs, governor, party stalwart of the opposition party seems to be trooping en masse into the ruling All Progressive Congress. And as they are going into the All Progressive Congress, it is safe to assert that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is moving close to his re-election in 2027. But the big question is, what is the attractive factor? What is attracting this political stalwart, these governors, these lawmakers, what is attracting them to the All Progressive Congress? Because if you look at it, the performance of the All Progressive Congress have been terrible. Rather than to give Nigeria the renewed hope that is promised, they have put Nigeria in a state of hopelessness, hardship, poverty, and destitution. So on this episode of Politin with your show blog Dr. Omosholadeji, we'll be looking at the attractive factors, because from what I have with me here, Delta State is gone. You will recall that the governor of Delta State, Sheriff Oboriwori, I hope I get that name correctly, recently professed his loyalty to the APC. Not only him, Ifeanyi Okowa, who happens to be the vice president to PDP's Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in the 2023 presidential election, has also decamped with him. The political godfather of the Ogapalapa in the state, James Ibori, is also gone. All the state lawmakers, the local government chairman in the state, they are all defecting to the ruling All Progressive Congress. And from what I have with me here, there are 5 states that are going to the All Progressive Congress. Now, 5 states, which is Delta State, that one is already gone. If everything goes right for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Akwa Ibom State is going, Enugu State is going, Osun State may also go as well, and of course, Kano State, and not just Kano State, but Rabiu Kwankwaso, who Bola Ahmed Tinubu is reportedly grooming for the vice presidential ticket in 2027 to replace Kashim Shettima. Now, if everything goes right, you can see that 5 states all lined up, 4 belonging to the PDP and 1 belonging to the NNPP. So you may want to ask yourself, what is the attracting factor? Because if you look at the performance of the All Progressive Congress, they have taken Nigerians from a state of whereby they can feed now to a state of hunger. The renewed hope that Bola Ahmed Tinubu promised largely has delivered hopelessness, poverty, destitution, and hardship to Nigerians. So you may want to ask yourself that if a political party, if a political party at the center is not performing, what could be the attractive factor? Why are politicians, why are they trooping en masse to the ruling All Progressive Congress and declaring support for Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Now, as your favorite political scientist, your sure plug, I will be breaking it down for you. I will be giving you 3 things. I can say 3 code words. 3 code words for us to understand why these people are trooping en masse to the APC. And the first one is the cookie and the cookie jar. Now, just note that down. Cookie jar, the Game Boy and the Gamer, and also the Sinner and the Punisher. Now, these three code words, it will help you to understand why these states are kind of like pledging alliance to the APC. Don't forget the cookie and the cookie jar, the Game Boy and the Gamer, and the Sinner and the Punisher. Now, let me explain it to you one after the other. Now, the cookie and the cookie jar. You see, the cookie is the goodies that is in government in terms of monetary goodies, in terms of appointment, in terms of having access to power. Those are the cookies, contracts, the goodies that are at the federal level. We can call it the cookies, right? And now, the person that is in charge of it, that holds the cookie jar, is Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So some of these guys, they want the cookie, and for you to have the cookie, you need to be afraid of the man that is holding the cookie jar. So that's why I came up with the code word cookie jar. Now, the second code word that I came up with, which will help you in layman's language without using any strong political jargons, is the word Game Boy and Gamer. Game Boy in the sense that brings us to the level of power. If you are a governor that is power-centric, if you are a governor and all you are about is power, you want to seek re-election. Now, that means that you are a Game Boy. You want power by every means possible. And you know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the gamer, is the is the one in charge of the game. He's going to appoint the INEC chairman. He's going to kind of is in charge of the Nigerian police force, the army, the DSS, and all that. And you know the role that Nigerian police play in the conduct of election. And also you know that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at the end of the day, is going to seal all his political abracadabra with a stooge in INEC. So you know that as it is now, there is some form of a form of power grab, a form of, if you like, to use the popular word that people are using, state capture. Then you will know that if you truly want power, if you truly want to remain in office, if you are a game boy, that you truly cherish the game, then you must be a friend to the gamer. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the gamer in the sense that he has all the power and apparatus of state in his disposal. Then the third one, which is the sinner and the punisher, and that relates to your past conduct as regards money, your financial conduct, particularly if you are being a politically exposed person, sinner and the punisher, in the sense that most Nigerian politicians, they have sinned, right? They have dipped their hand in the national resources or state resources. They have committed one infraction or the other. They have one file in the EFCC net and so on and so forth. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the president and commander-in-chief, who happens to be in control of the EFCC, the ICPC, is what? The punisher. Government is supposed to punish you if you dip your hand into state resources. And the government is being presided over by Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So Bola Ahmed Tinubu happens to be the punisher. Some of these politicians happen to be the sinner. And that's why I came up with the code word sinner punisher. Now, I want to explain the three code words for you: cookie, cookie jar, game boy, gamer, sinner, and punisher. Now, let us look at the state that I have listed. What could be applicable to Delta State, for example? Now, the Delta governor, if you look at the political trajectory of Delta State, has always been kind of like being under the armpit of James Sibori. Then after a while, we have Ifeanyi Okowa. Ifeanyi Okowa has a case with the EFCC where it was alleged that he has tampered with, I think, over 1 trillion naira or thereabout. James Sibori, his case file is still with the EFCC. So what we can place this, the Delta State, what we can assert that make these people to kind of like become is what I can call the sinner punisher, in the sense that you have tampered with, allegedly, with the state resources, and you know that the punisher will come after you if you don't do the will of the punisher. So for you to escape punishment as a sinner, the best thing for you is to be a friend to the punisher. So when you pledge loyalty to the punisher as a sinner, when you are a friend of the punisher, it is most likely that you will escape punishment from your sin. So for Delta State, I will place it under the code sinner punisher. Now let us go to Akwa Ibom State. Now that one of Akwa Ibom State, if you look at it, it is two words, especially state that have incumbent governor. It is about the cookie and the cookie jar and the game boy and the gamer. It is two that falls under that of Akwa Ibom State, in the sense that the governor of Akwa Ibom State, if he aligns with the APC, he will have access to national resources, he will have access to appointment, he will have access to connect to the center, as they usually say. Now, we have the ability to connect to the center. So definitely it is about the cookie and the cookie jar, and also the game boy and the gamer. Godswill Akpabio, the number 3 citizen in Nigeria, is the Senate president, is an ally of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is of the APC. The governor of the state, Umoeno, is of the PDP. So if you look at it very well, Umoeno wants a second term, and he knows that at the end of the day, even if he wins the election and they rig it, the worst thing is that he will go to court, and when he goes to court, at the end of the day, with the judiciary that we have, he may not have any judgment at the end of the day, and that is the end of it. So he has to quickly align, which brings us to the game boy and the gamer, just so that he won't lose out at the end of the day, because Umo Eno, is all about power. He wants to retain the seat of the governor in 2027. So it's about a game boy and a gamer, and also the cookie and the cookie jar. Same for the governor of Enugu State as well. The governor of Enugu State, Peter Amba, falls into the category as analyzed in the case of Akwa Ibom. Now, if you go to Osun State, the same principle also apply, but it is no more of the cookie and the cookie jar in the state. In the case of Osun State, it is absolutely about the game boy and the gamer, because Adeleke knows that if he doesn't align with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he will either pledge to work for Bola Ahmed Tinubu during the presidential election, or he will just wholeheartedly cross over to the APC for him to be able to secure a kind of like a re-election ticket, because as it is right now, even if they conduct election, even if they rig it and you go to court, at the end of the day, the probability that you get a favorable judgment is absolutely less. So that is why, if you want a second term, the best thing for you is that for you to align with Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that's about, you know, knowing how to play the power game, which is the Game Boy and the gamer, as I have explained to you. Now, the last one is, which is the fifth one, is that of Kano State, that of Rabiu Kwankwaso. That of Rabiu Kwankwaso is about the Game Boy and the gamer, just as I just explained in Osun State. Same also for Kano State. You know that Kano State, you know, the NNPP almost lost Kano State, if not that the Supreme Court that rubber stamped everything, they didn't upturn any election. So perhaps in the wisdom of the Supreme Court, it would be unjust to just upturn only that of Kano State. But then the APC have perfected the game at the tribunal, at the appeal court, but then things turn around at the Supreme Court. So to avoid a repetition of that, definitely they need to align a Game Boy and a gamer kind of thing. And Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs Kano State, because Kano State is one of the K states in Nigeria. For you to win a presidential election, you need the support of the K state: Kano, Kaduna, Katsina. Now, El Rufai is from Kaduna State. He may be a spoiler in that case. And then Katsina, that Buhari is from. Buhari is the type that he doesn't fight for anybody politically. And some of his loyalists are already saying they want to leave the APC. So if you look at it, Bola Ahmed Tinubu needs Kano State. So it's a kind of like Game Boy and gamer. And not only that, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is allegedly pacifying Kano State with the governorship winning. He is also trying to lure Rabiu Kwankwaso with the vice presidential ticket, allegedly. So it's a kind of Game Boy gamer kind of thing. Rabiu Kwankwaso wants the power, so he will kind of like say, okay, well, Bola Ahmed Tinubu is offering the goodies, let me go for the goodies. And you will recall that why won't politicians run to join the APC? Who wants to go to prison? Who wants to go to jail? So if you are a sinner and you know that you have a case with the EFCC, they already have your case file and everything, if they give you, you know, a lifeline of joining them, why won't you join them? So it's a kind of like sinner and punisher kind of thing. And you will recall that Adams Oshiomhole, the former national chairman of the APC, made a statement that once you join APC, your sins are forgiven. So is that what is playing out right now in the Nigerian political landscape? But what I can tell you is that the way Bola Ahmed Tinubu is going, expect more defection, and I foresee a situation whereby the 2027 presidential election will not be between the APC and the PDP or Labour Party or whatever. It will be between the APC and Nigerians who are suffering under the hardship of this government, and the Nigerian people will now find a candidate that will be a rallying point. It may be in the PDP, it may be in the APC, but then again, because these political bigwigs have left, it will now be a kind of like power tussle between the APC, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, versus Nigerians. May God spare our lives to witness the interesting political gymnastics that will happen in 2027. It's been an interesting time with you on this episode. Subscribe, turn on your notification button, catch up with my past video. See you in my next video. I love you all. Sincerely.